What if, one fine day, you summoned a goblin? What would you do? Just when you were in despair and ready to give up on life, you suddenly realize that the seemingly ordinary goblin in front of you is, in fact, the king of all goblins. What's more, its level has reached 999. A single swing from it could obliterate a god-tier hero. Let's follow the journey of our main character's corruption alongside his goblin companion. In the midst of chaos, the air felt scorched by a sweltering heat. A knight, drenched in sweat, panted heavily, leaning on his sword with a face contorted by exhaustion. This was the high-difficulty dungeon boss. Before him, his teammates faced a colossal creature, the level 67 wingless dragon, Sabaramus. The dragon opened its maw and let out a thunderous roar as crimson flames gathered into a massive fireball. Its shriek was so piercing it was mind-numbing, and the entire group of warriors was forced back by its terrifying power. Here it comes! Among them was an old man with white hair and a beard, his eyes filled with anxiety. I don't know if my defense skill can block it this time. Suddenly his eyes widened. What is that? Following his gaze, a small green foot appeared in front of Sebarumus. A short creature, clad in a tattered loincloth, was hopping around fearlessly. It was a creature armed with only a simple wooden club, standing before the dragon, as if oblivious to the impending doom. It was a goblin. It stuck out its tongue, its face scrunched up with a mischievous expression, and let out a shrill "Ki-eek!" A goblin? What is a goblin doing here? Sebarumus roared in fury, launching the fireball toward the group. A torrent of fire, carrying destructive power, surged forward, threatening to incinerate everything in its path. Yet, the goblin remained unharmed. It let out a delighted cackle. Ki-hee-hee. Then it swung the club in its hand. In a single moment, it unleashed a horizontal strike so fast that the human eye couldn't follow. A second later, the entire battlefield fell silent. Everyone stared in astonishment at what had just happened. No way! It sliced right through. It didn't just smash it, it sliced the dragon. Below, where the dragon once stood, its massive upper body had vanished, leaving only a scorched lower half engulfed in raging flames. The goblin stood before the dragon's remains like a tiny speck. A buzz went through the crowd. The goblin took down Sebarumus in a single blow. A monster attacking another monster. Could it be a summoned creature? Amidst the chaos, the white-bearded man raised his hand and pointed to the top of a hill. Look, over there. There's someone on the hilltop. It was a young man with a grin stretching from ear to ear, his tongue lolling out grotesquely. It's him! The young man stood on a high rock, all eyes fixed upon him. At his feet, the goblin still stood before the dragon's corpse, as the area was engulfed in a sea of fire. The crowd erupted. It's the goblin summoner! Chunshu was currently a construction worker. He was carrying a large sack on his shoulder under the scorching sun, sweat pouring down his face. Where should I put this? Did something good happen to him? He's working and smiling at the same time. He dropped the sack. My name is Goblin Chunshu, he thought to himself. Of course, I'm a weakling. My place is naturally a low-level dungeon, a character who can never leave a low-level dungeon. He sat down, looked up at the sky, and sighed. While stories of people winning the lottery and becoming super rich overnight were common, a goblin would always be a goblin, no matter how much EXP it gained. A voice spoke up beside him. Have you heard about the old man? This piqued Chunshu's curiosity. He glanced over. It was a few middle-aged men, fellow construction workers like him, chatting around a fire. I heard he's been so busy playing Heaven's Gate lately that he hasn't even come to work. What? Something about getting a hidden class? The other man chimed in. A hidden class? He's hit the jackpot. He's going to make a fortune with that. Chunshu wondered, a hidden class? Heaven's Gate? Images from the game Heaven's Gate flashed through his mind. Knights, monsters, and people fighting for loot. The full-dive VR MMORPG was all the rage these days. The experience was so realistic, it made people forget reality. You played by lying on a bed and wearing a VR headset to enter its world. Of course, the technology was too advanced and the equipment too expensive. But thanks to countless internet cafes nationwide converting to catch the trend, even poor people like him could easily enjoy it. And what does such high demand lead to? People started using the loot they earned in the game to convert it into real money. Real-world money began pouring into the game, and in-game items became a real-world currency. Chunshu mused, I enjoyed it at first too. Back then, he had struggled desperately in the game. Behold, my ultimate skill. System, rock smashing skill activated. You have obtained 3 ore. He screamed at the sky in frustration. Damn, this is so stupid. After all that grinding, now I have to grind even more. I'm drowning in debt, even in here. He burst into tears like a child. When is it my turn to become a legendary hero, date a beautiful party member, and get married? Heaven's gate, my ass. Even if I mine ore forever. He held a high-grade blue recovery crystal in his hand. Wow. If I sell this, I could get at least 300,000 won for it. Chunshu's face turned sinister. He cradled the blue crystal. This is why I mine. A voice called out beside him. Excuse me. Chunshu looked over. It was an incredibly beautiful white-haired girl with 2 men behind her. A girl, and she's so pretty. She wore a tight-fitting red outfit. You've been mining here every day, so your mining skill must be quite high, right? She asked. He replied, It's pretty high. Why do you ask? She continued, We've encountered a dungeon, but a giant boulder is blocking our path. They were standing in a marble cave filled with crystal ore deposits. Our party is strong, but we don't know anything about mining. She looked around with a pitiful expression. We were hoping a talented miner like you could help us. Chunshu was flustered. Well, I have the skill, but my level is too low to safely enter a dungeon. The dwarf next to her spoke up. We'll handle the monsters. You just need to follow us and do the mining. He then added, you think because I'm a dwarf, I must be good at mining, right? Well, dwarves are only good for that, I guess. They're useless in a fight, so they might as well just die. Chunshu didn't know how to respond. His face blank. He thought to himself, if I join their party, I'll get shared experience and maybe even find some high-level ores. Not bad. But how many enemies are there in that dangerous cave? Will I really be safe deep inside the dungeon? Although you could respawn after dying in this game, there was one thing that always made Chunshu hesitate. But this game has that. Suddenly, the girl grabbed his hand, pressing it against her body as she began to sway seductively. I'm sorry, it's just... My ideal type is a miner with strong hands. I can't help myself. If you don't want to, it's okay. Startled and blushing, he panicked. I want to. At that moment, sweat started streaming down Chunshu's face, his whole body trembling. He gripped his pickaxe tightly. What nonsense am I spouting? In front of Chunshu was a level 7 gray wolf. Lower level than I thought, he mused. Still, a pack of 5 wolves was slowly closing in on him. But I'm still a lower level than them. As a wolf lunged, Chunshu threw his arms up to shield his face. Mommy, the girl screamed. Get back! A massive flame shot past him. Damage numbers floated in the air. 2748, 2855, 2976, 2765. Skill, Salamander's Flame. All the while, Chunshu kept his eyes squeezed shut. The girl was Catherine Lee, a level 39 mage. She rushed to his side, her voice filled with concern. Are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? She asked, leaving the smoldering chaos of her spell behind her. Chunshu was stunned. Thank you for your help, he stammered. He thought to himself. She wiped out the entire pack in a single devastating blow. Catherine wiped away a tear, looking incredibly pitiful. You had me so worried, she pleaded. Please don't stray too far from me. It's dangerous. He pursed his lips, his eyes wide. She wants me to stay by her side forever. Have I finally found my fairy tale romance? Meanwhile, Catherine's other companion, a dwarf, was arrogant and dismissive as he dodged the wolf attacks. We're not the type to mess around in dungeons like this. He grabbed the staff from his back and swung it, annihilating the remaining wolves. Damage numbers flashed. 1800, 1836, 1798. Skill, Giant Swing. He returned to a defensive stance. There's a suspicious ore vein that can only be opened with a specific skill, he explained. We came here to see what's inside it. We had to pass on it before because investing points in non-combat skills like mining is a waste. That's why we need people like you to help. Chunshu flinched at those words. People like me? What does he mean, people like me? His mind was a turbulent mix of thoughts. Damn it, does this guy take me for a fool? Without me, he wouldn't be able to mine a thing. Seething with silent rage, Chunshu found himself standing behind the dwarf, his eyes filled with killing intent. I can't let that comment slide. You think I don't have any combat skills? He snarled. He spun his pickaxe over his head, gritted his teeth, and slammed it furiously into the ground. I don't. Chunshu tried to smash the ground again. Damn it, not even a crack. Over by the wall, the dwarf was talking to his companion. Are you sure the information you bought is correct? If there's nothing behind this ore vein, we'll have taken a huge loss. The other man's brow furrowed. It had better be. Otherwise, you'll pay the price for wasting our time in this trash-tier dungeon. Chunshu continued to chip away at the rock, feeling utterly disregarded. Being looked down on while risking my life for a few measly coins. I'm so used to it that I can't even get angry anymore. And that's what pisses me off the most. Calm down. Just do your job, get the money, and leave. It's just another normal day. He mustered all his strength, swung the pickaxe down, and yelled, "This is so boring!" The ground began to crack. The entire cave shook as dust and debris rained down. Everyone stared in amazement. Before them was an intricately carved doorway. "A hidden dungeon!" Chunshu exclaimed. "No way!" the dwarf gasped. "We actually found a hidden dungeon?" The other man was equally shocked. "We can get special rewards, maybe even change to a hidden class." Chunshu was ecstatic. We hit the jackpot. Beside him, Catherine's eyes turned ice cold, filled with murderous intent. "Yes," she repeated slowly. "We did." From behind, the dwarf rushed forward, attacking Chunshu with eyes blazing like fire. Meanwhile, Chunshu was still celebrating, oblivious to the impending danger. "Now I can change my life, just like the old man." The dwarf slammed his club into Chunshu's back. A system notification popped up. PK mode activated. Chunshu screamed in agony as he collapsed, a bright red chit-440 flashing above his head. "Ugh, damn it, I can't breathe," a mocking voice rang out. Finding this hidden dungeon was a real pain. Catherine and the dwarf stood over him, sneering. "And to think it was in a low-level area that required some stupid mining skill to even get in," she continued. "Don't take it personally. We did all the fighting. You just tagged along." Chunshu glared up at them, furious. "So they're the ones who attacked me. The cowards. They knew about the hidden dungeon from the start." The dwarf grabbed Chunshu's head, yanking it up. In his other hand, he swung a flail. "Of course we knew, you idiot. You think we'd waste our time coming here for fun? But since you did help a little, I'll make this quick." He threw Chunshu into the air. Chunshu's eyes flew open. He was gasping for air, his face pale and drenched in sweat. "I'm still in the dungeon. They didn't kill me. Maybe they have a sliver of conscience, after all." However, it wasn't mercy that saved him. In his hand, he was holding the high-grade recovery crystal. It had just been used. High-grade recovery crystal. Recovers 100% of HP when a player's HP reaches 0. The crystal in his hand cracked in two. "Wait, I didn't respawn. My 300,001 crystal. You bastards!" He slammed his fist on the ground, screaming in anguish. "Damn it! My money!" Chunshu looked ahead. The entrance to the hidden dungeon was a void of darkness that the outside light couldn't penetrate. The gate was still open, meaning the dungeon hadn't been cleared yet. He gritted his teeth and began to crawl forward. "You think I'll give up just because I lost my recovery crystal? Not a chance. I'm going to ruin your party and turn the tables." Chunshu pushed himself towards the dungeon's entrance. "You bastards! You dared to look down on me." Inside, it was as black as a cosmic abyss, a stark contrast to the bright cave outside. "I'm going to become your worst nightmare." He scrambled forward. "Just you wait, hidden dungeon." He leaped inside, but what lay before him was not solid ground. It was a tunnel leading straight down into the earth. But Chunshu's reckless leap was tantamount to delivering himself to death. Son of a... stairs! He plummeted, crashing onto a landing below. 80 HP. He face-planted. Stairs. Right at the entrance? He lay on the floor, his HP now a critical 20. But hey, at least I made it inside, he thought. This must be the hidden dungeon. Chunshu was inside what appeared to be a goblin shrine. Before him sat a colossal statue of a goblin lord on a throne. He pushed himself up. What the hell? What's with that arrogant-looking goblin on the throne? He walked around. But a goblin shrine? Don't tell me this place only has goblins. A hidden dungeon was supposed to be much more challenging than this. Is a low-level hidden dungeon really this pathetic? How boring. Then, Chunshu felt a strange sense of unease. He looked around. It's too quiet. Where are they? His foot bumped into something strange. He looked down. What's this? It was the dwarf, already defeated. He lay on the floor in a pool of blood, his body trembling. Chunshu jumped back with a startled scream. Ah! It was the dwarf from before. What the hell happened? The man looked at him, shivering. Send a message. Can you use the revive skill? A skill like that doesn't exist, Chunshu replied, scratching his head. Is he avoiding the respawn button so he doesn't miss out on the hidden dungeon? What a greedy bastard. Just go back to town. Suddenly, a red warning message flashed in his vision. Warning. This is a high difficulty dungeon, far exceeding your current level. Please leave the dungeon immediately. Chunshu's face went pale. What? Just then, a horrific scream echoed through the shrine. He whipped his head around. It was the other man's voice. A giant, monstrous hand had seized his entire body, lifting him into the air. His eyes were wide and white with terror. Catherine was pinned to the ground under the monster's foot. This is a goblin shrine, all right. Chunshu was face to face with a level 80 monster called a Gega. It had long, spindly limbs, 2 horns on its head, and a mouth like a bottomless pit. Its entire body radiated a sinister red aura. He was frozen. What is this thing? Level 80? Are you kidding me? The monster raised the man to its mouth, which was filled with razor-sharp teeth. In an instant, it bit him in half. Blood splattered everywhere, staining the ground crimson as he let out one final agonized scream. Witnessing such a horrifying scene, Chunshu felt an overwhelming wave of nausea. He clapped a hand over his mouth. Ope, this is the worst-case scenario. Many games in the past have pursued realism, but Heaven's Gate went so far as to integrate the sense of touch. All Chunshu could think about was the VR headset. Of course, there's a safety system. If you're attacked by a monster of the same or lower level, the damage is negligible. Help me! Please, help me! Catherine cried out to him, utterly terrified. But getting hit by a monster that's dozens of levels higher is a completely different story. He screamed back at her. Help you with what? What the hell am I supposed to do against that thing? Oh, the consequences of this game were brutal. Even if a character revived, the pain and trauma didn't disappear. They directly impacted the brain. In severe cases, it could cause brain death or even real-world death. Realizing this, Chunshu knew this place was far too dangerous for him. He began to sneak away. Psychological trauma. I'm quitting. I can't let that thing tear me apart. He ran frantically toward the gate. This isn't my fault. You guys abandoned me first. I'm weak, so I'm useless anyway. So, he laughed maniacally, tears streaming down his face. Even if I'm the only one left, I have to survive, right? Instantly, a system message appeared. The Goblin Lord empathizes with your cowardice and weakness. Chunshu stared at the system window in front of him. What the hell? The Goblin Lord? He looked at the giant goblin statue on the throne. Me? Weak and cowardly? He gritted his teeth. You think I want to be like this? Despite being paralyzed with fear, Catherine tried to raise a hand to cast a spell. You think I choose to be powerless? Chunshu's thoughts raged. If I had even a sliver of strength, I wouldn't be running away. But that strength meant nothing. The monster easily crushed Catherine under its foot. A flood of memories from his past rushed through Chunshu's mind. An image of himself as a manual laborer on a construction site. I wanted a decent job where I wouldn't be looked down on. An image of himself mining in the game. I wanted to fight monsters with cool skills like everyone else, not just break rocks. Because of my parents' debt, I grew up never being able to do a single thing I wanted. He finally voiced the resentment he had suppressed for so long. Tears and snot streamed down his face. And you call me weak? Why do I have to suffer this humiliation? What did I do wrong? He screamed at the goblin statue. Who are you to look down on me from up there? You're just a goblin. I get looked down on in real life and in the game, and now even a goblin pities me? Chunshu's anguished cries echoed throughout the hidden dungeon. Fine, I'm a goblin. So what? Damn it! Immediately, a flurry of system notifications appeared. You are now an honorary goblin. Goblins will now assist you at all times. You have met the requirements for a hidden class change. Do you wish to change your class to Goblin Summoner? Chunshu stared at the messages. A hidden class? Goblin Summoner? But after everything he had been through, he wouldn't compromise so easily. He let out a twisted smile. Are you kidding me? I refuse. However, the system updated anyway, giving him a new notification. You are now a goblin. Class change complete. I said no! Chunshu roared. The monster, having finished off the others, was now creeping up behind him. Sororo! It growled. His face fell and his body began to tremble. It's too late. It's useless to run now. Damn it! Damn it! There's no way out. Chunshu threw his arm out and commanded, Goblin, come forth. The system displayed. Skill, Summon Goblin activated. Summon Goblin summons a goblin to fight for its master. A purple magic circle materialized on the ground. Slowly, a goblin emerged from it. Couldn't you have appeared with a cool effect? Like a dragon or something? He thought wryly. A green goblin with an ugly face appeared and let out a keek. Chunshu's lip curled in disgust. A goblin. Looks totally useless. Whatever, I'll use it as bait and make a run for it. He pointed toward the Gega and commanded, Goblin, go! Defeat him! The goblin stretched, swinging its wooden club. Ki-eek! The Gega let out a piercing shriek and swung its long, spindly arm. Sororo! Chunshu turned away. Okay, time for me to run. Just as he thought that, the goblin, in a flash, lopped off the Gega's head. Huh? The Gega collapsed to the ground in a cloud of dust, and Chunshu just stood there, dumbfounded. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The system chimed with a stream of notifications. Your experience has increased. What? You have learned a new skill. Feed Goblin. Assumption. You have learned a new skill. Walk Goblin. The goblin landed safely on the ground. Your summoned monster's experience has increased. It turned, scratched its head, and grinned at him. Keek. A continuous stream of updates flooded his vision. Your summoned monster's experience has increased. Your summoned monster's experience has increased. It looked at him, its tongue still lolling out, drooling. Chunshu was utterly baffled. This pathetic-looking goblin? Doubt crept in, his face contorting as sweat beaded on his forehead. It's really max level? The scene flashes back. The Gega tightened its grip on the man in its giant palm. It opened its grotesque mouth, revealing teeth as sharp as razors. Without hesitation, it bit down. The man's upper torso was ripped away as a torrent of blood sprayed through the air in gruesome crimson arcs. Catherine screamed, her voice echoing with pure terror, just before the monster's giant foot stomped down, crushing her body into a pulp. The horrific virtual experience had a profound impact on the real Catherine. She thrashed and screamed in a panicked frenzy, Whack! Warg! The attendant rushed over to the pod where Catherine was playing the full dive VR game. Miss, wake up! Miss, he yelled in a panic, ripping the VR headset off her. What he saw was horrifying. Catherine was still lying there, but her body was motionless. Her eyes were wide open, her brow furrowed, and a mixture of tears and blood streamed from her nose. The virtual terror had bled into reality, tearing through the boundary between game and life with the raw sensation of death. The shock was irreversible. It was a fatal blow. Back in the battle, the goblin was still rampaging through its enemies. Every strike was a blur. With each swing, a dazzling string of nines, 999, 9999, flashed, signifying the colossal damage it was inflicting. You have leveled up. And then another hit, and another. With every blow, the same words appeared, repeating like a chaotic melody. You have leveled up. You have leveled up. You have leveled up. The goblin shrieked, its body trembling with excitement. Its eyes were wide, the whites nearly gone, replaced by a blazing crimson. It was as if it had gone mad, ready to tear apart anything in its path. Its long, shrill cries echoed across the battlefield, blending with the rain of damage numbers and the ceaseless chimes of a dozen more level-up notifications. Chunshu bent down, picking up a low-level monster's mana stone from the ground. He sighed. Hey, give me a break, Goblin. Though he complained, Chunshu was holding a massive pile of materials. X999 low-level mana stones, X999 wolf claws, X999 more wolf claws, and another X999 wolf claws, all stacked in a mountain. The huge backpack on his shoulders looked ready to explode, yet his face was radiant with excitement. I'm out of hands to carry all this, he cheered. Kim Chunshu. Class, Goblin Summoner. Level, 31. Strength, 4. Stamina, 2. Agility, 0. Intelligence, Jinyuin. Luck, 0. Status points, 26. He still hadn't fully recovered from what had just happened. I cleared the dungeon by capturing the Gega, but my protective teammates sacrificed themselves. So death was the only way for me to return. Chunshu looked up at the goblin. Its ugly face let out piercing shrieks, yet this thing had cleared the dungeon by itself without gaining a single level, while he had shot up to level 31. The system window displayed the summoned monster's information. Summoned monster, Goblin. Information, NNA. I still can't see anything about it, he thought. The two of them were still standing in the damp, gloomy cave. He crossed his arms, staring at the goblin as if it were an unsolved mystery. How can a low-tier mob like a goblin be this strong? Could it be a game bug? His expression shifted dramatically. His eyes turned hollow, his nose sharpened like a demon's, and his mouth hung open, saliva flying everywhere. Who cares? He screamed. If this is a bug, I have to exploit it for all it's worth before they fix it. With this guy, I won't have to mine anymore, and I can become the best player in Heaven's Gate. At Narabank, the receptionist's voice called out, now serving number 36. She looked at Chunshu, who sat before her. All told, including the wolf pelts, your total is 97,001. Would you like the money deposited directly into your account? I can exchange items for cash directly through a bank, he thought. Just how advanced is this game? Finally, he spoke. No, can I transfer the money to another account? Then a sudden memory struck him. Oh, right, I have more items to sell, he continued. The Gega's skin and heart. The employee heard this and replied, if we include those, your grand total is... Her eyes went wide, her mouth moved, but no words came out. Huh? She quickly turned away. Sir, manager. She left Chunshu staring after her, dumbfounded. He picked his nose. What's going on? Why is she getting her manager when a customer is sitting right here? A moment later, a steaming cup of strawberry red tea was placed in front of him. The person serving him now was the manager of Nara Bank, a portly man with a face as round as a dumpling, and a practiced professional smile plastered on his lips. Well, is it to your liking? Chunshu took a small sip and whispered, It's cold. Oh, the manager replied, I forgot to add the hot water. Getting back to business, Chunshu's demeanor turned serious. So what do you want with me? I just came to exchange some items for cash. It's nothing. Really, the manager said, his smile never wavering. I just know a better place for you to put your money, so I thought we could have a little chat. A better place. He continued, Don't you think it's a waste to just let money sit in an account? Our bank has some very stable investment opportunities, so if you were to invest instead of letting it sit there... Chunshu frowned. Wait, investing? I know making money is important to you guys, but does a manager really have to handle this? At most, I have about 1,000,001. The manager's expression didn't change, but his brows twitched slightly, though the corporate smile remained. 1 million? No, I thought you would know the value of the items you brought in. The Gega's heart and skin. At today's exchange rate. His final words left Chunshu stunned, his mouth agape, utterly speechless. Are worth 230 million. After the meeting at the bank, Chunshu hugged his little goblin tightly, cheering with excitement. Goblin! Thanks to you, I've paid off 10% of my debt. I didn't even summon you, you just came to me? Oh, you adorable thing. Seeing the clear benefits of owning this bizarre goblin, Chunshu was full of praise. Who says goblins are ugly? You're damn it, I can't lie. At least while we're in town, I won't summon you. A few minutes later, he regretted it. As they walked through the town center, all eyes were drawn to the bizarre duo, a player, and a goblin. He gritted his teeth and quickened his pace. This thing. I can't unsummon it. Does it only disappear when it dies? Oh God, everyone is staring at me. People started whispering and gossiping. Someone laughed mockingly. Hey, look, there's a goblin in town. Who summoned that? How pathetic. Chunshu wanted the ground to swallow him whole, his face turning pale. I'm not the goblin. Look how ugly he is. Ha ha. Suddenly, a heavy voice boomed out. It turned its head, letting out an incomprehensible hiss. A man with a voice as deep as thunder spoke. What is this? He was Pon the Destroyer from the Evaton Guild, standing menacingly before the small goblin. He held a colossal broadsword, his eyes as cold and sharp as knives. How in the world is a goblin walking around on the street? A cheer went up from the crowd. It's Pon the Destroyer. A buzz of excitement rose. It's Pon the Destroyer from the Evaton Guild. Chunshu was bewildered. The Destroyer? That's a pretty cool name. Is he famous? Someone nearby whispered, Nah, he gave himself that name. Chunshu's face fell. That's it. I'm screwed. No one who calls themselves the Destroyer is normal. Seeing the situation was about to escalate, he shouted, Wait, it's not a monster. But before he could finish, Pon's giant broadsword came crashing down on the goblin's head. In that instant, the little goblin tossed its wooden club into the air. Pon was sent flying, and dust billowed everywhere. Damage numbers flashed. 9099, 9099. He coughed up blood. PK mode. Pain level will not exceed the point of unconsciousness to prevent high-level players from threatening others. He's dead. The crowd was stunned, whispering incessantly. Pon the Destroyer just got destroyed. This goblin just killed someone. Chunshu went pale, a cold sweat trickling down his spine. Damn it, if they find out it's my summon. From the crowd, a cloaked figure spoke, their voice cold. Getting toyed with by a goblin? How disgraceful, Pon the Destroyer. This monster isn't even worth touching. It was the Evaton Guild, Wu Hyuk the Dark, level 30 assassin, Min Sung, level 28 assassin, Ji Yun the Deadly, level 27 archer, and Terran the Brutal, level 28 assassin. Wu Hyuk drew his sword and pointed it straight at the goblin. But you will take responsibility for messing with our guild. Chunshu swallowed hard. This is getting more and more complicated. My goblin won't lose, but if it takes all of them out, it's going to be a huge mess. He quickly stepped out, blocking the goblin. Wait, hold on. Leave this goblin to me. Wu Hyuk cut him off. Who are you? Stay out of this, or we'll kill you too. Chunshu tried to remain calm. But if all of you gang up on one little goblin, it won't be good for your reputation. His goblin, however, couldn't care less. It swung its arm. System. Goblin has used the skill Rock Throw. A small rock, imbued with 9899 power, flew through the air and smacked Minsung square in the head, sending him flying. Minsung the Swift was killed instantly. Get him too! The guild members shouted, charging forward. Chunshu didn't think twice. He bolted. The goblin followed, chuckling as it ran. How did it come to this? He wailed internally. I have a max-level goblin and a bright future. I thought my life in Heaven's Gate would be smooth sailing. Suddenly, from a corner, a white-bearded old man shouted, This way! Chunshu stopped and looked. Who are you? The old man frowned and urged him on. No time to explain. Hurry. Without a second thought, Chunshu dove through the door, which slammed shut behind him. A moment later, he burst out of a secret passage, his face drained of all color. Damn it! You said, this way! It turned out the old man was Song Ryun the Cunning, a level 26 warrior. He was now chasing Chunshu with a warhammer. It's the way to your grave, that is. Damn it! Chunshu hissed through gritted teeth. He screamed at the system. Now what? I'm out of breath from running. System. The Goblin Lord is impressed by your sneak attack after lowering the enemy's guard. You have received 1 goblin point. He wondered to himself, sneak attack? It's calling me a backstabber? He recalled the moment, tears streaming down his face, when he had stood before the Goblin Lord on its throne and been called weak and vile. Now the system was calling him a backstabber. He took a slow step forward. I never did anything wrong. He stopped. So what was it that made me weak, vile, and sneaky? His eyes widened in realization. It was them. The ones who recruited me into their party betrayed me and attacked me without warning. He gave an order. Listen up, Goblin. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. The Goblin responded, Ki-eek! We're tired of being looked down on for being weak. He turned his head, his face twisting into a sinister expression, a malicious glint in his eyes. I will destroy the Evaton Guild. The Goblin let out a maniacal cackle. Ki-hee-hee. Meanwhile, Woo-hyuk and Ji-eun of the Evaton Guild were leaping across rooftops. Ji-eun glanced at her companion running ahead of her. Did you really need to come with us just to take down one guy? She asked Woo-hyuk the Dark. I think I would have been enough on my own. Without turning his head, Woo-hyuk's voice was grim. Don't be careless. That goblin. Among us, Pawn the Destroyer was the weakest, but it killed him in a single blow. There's something strange about that goblin. Suddenly, terrified screams erupted from ahead. Woo-hyuk skidded to a halt. The screams came from right next to him. The old man who had tricked Chun-shu was now lying unconscious in a pile of splintered wood. Seong-ryun the Cunning, Woo-hyuk exclaimed. But from the shadows, a cold figure had silently appeared right behind him. It was the goblin, its eyes glowing with a murderous light. Woo-hyuk spun around in a flash, swinging his dagger straight at it. Hya! Yet the blow didn't leave a single scratch on the goblin. It stuck out its tongue. Ki-eek! Impossible. No damage? Suddenly, Woo-hyuk remembered the moment Min-sung had fallen to the small rock the goblin had thrown. So I wasn't seeing things back then. It was only now that he realized he was standing at death's door. It's over. I'm going to die. The goblin immediately lunged forward, swinging its wooden club at Woo-hyuk. But a sharp arrow flew in, blocking the attack. Woo-hyuk stared at the chaotic scene. Something stopped its attack. Next to him, Ji-eun stood with her bow drawn. What are you standing there for? She yelled. Are you going to let a goblin kill you? He looked at her. Ji-eun the Deadly. I'm fighting a goblin. The goblin hopped around, taunting him. How can a low-level monster like this deal millions of damage? They must be cheating somehow. Without hesitation, Woo-hyuk channeled his inner energy. His entire body erupted in a crimson aura. Skill. Assassin's Rage. I don't know who's pulling the strings, but in an instant, Woo-hyuk became aggressive and frenzied. Your speed has been reduced by 90%. All current attacks are now critical hits. His rage had overwhelmed his reason. This is so irritating. Ji-eun watched him from behind, worried. He's in his maximum attack state. His MP is 280. A magical aura surged around him. What are you doing? It's just a goblin. Why are you using that skill? Don't worry, Woo-hyuk replied. This is just a passive skill. What kind of passive skill uses half your mana? The atmosphere grew increasingly tense. He spun his two daggers, holding them in a reverse grip. Reverse grip, plus 30%. Damage, 50%. Critical hit rate. I'll finish it in one blow and move on to the next one. Ji-eun could only sigh. Ha, fine. Just get it over with before someone else sees. She leaped up, drew her bow, and fired. Archer skill, Ghoul Arrow. Ghoul Arrow has removed all movement speed debuffs in the area. A blue light enveloped the space, simultaneously buffing her teammate Woo-hyuk. The arrow shot toward its target. I don't want to be seen using all our combination skills just to fight one goblin, she warned. He shot forward like a rocket, a blue aura enveloping his every move. All attacks are now critical hits, plus 30% damage. Movement speed debuff has been removed. Passive Assassin skill, plus 20% damage. Damage increases with movement speed. Playtime's over, Goblin! Woo-hyuk snarled, his voice filled with menace. He zipped past the goblin while it just stood there, a 0 floating above its head. Woo-hyuk froze, realizing his mistake. Wait, could it be? The goblin turned its head and gave him a faint, mocking smile. Instantly, Woo-hyuk was thrown backward, smashing into the wall behind Ji-eun. A huge crater was imprinted in it as debris flew everywhere. He screamed in agony. Amidst the chaos of the battle, a figure slowly emerged from the settling dust. Ji-eun turned her head, stunned. What just happened? A new voice spoke up. Who's finishing whom in one blow? Why don't you say that after you've reached max level? Ji-eun sank to her knees, speechless. Impossible. This goblin isn't a normal monster? A terrifying laugh echoed through the air. Chun-shu stepped out, his eyes glinting with a sinister light. He looked at Ji-eun, his gaze as sharp as a knife. That's right, I summoned it. The goblin in front of her was still laughing with glee, a distorted, bizarre sound. She was still unable to process what was happening. How can a goblin be this strong? Wu Hyuk the Dark is one of the strongest members of the Evaton Guild. It doesn't concern you, Kim Chun-shu said, his face twisting with rage. What's important here is that I'm angry. She shrank back, a hint of anger on her own face. What did we ever do to you? His expression became even more deranged. You really don't know why? It's your fault. For being too attractive. At that moment, Ji-eun screamed, You perverted freak! Kim Chun-shu hastily tried to explain himself as she lost her composure. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. I meant you guys attacked us first. So my pet and I are feeling very stressed right now. Ji-eun was still panicking. Your pet is that stiff. Peter? He began to fear her wild imagination. Oh God, anyone seeing this would get the wrong idea. Goblin, stop her from screaming. Below, a crowd was gathering. Did you guys hear that? Look over there. It's those people from before. Kim Chun-shu grew annoyed by the noise from below. Shh, they're here already? Hey, Goblin, let's wrap this up and get out of here. The Goblin was still busy covering Ji-eun's mouth. More chatter rose from below. Look, it's the Goblin. It wiped out the entire Evaton Guild, and now it's about to harm the last survivor. We could be next. Chun-shu's face contorted again. Damn it. I just wanted to get revenge on the guild, and now I'm in this ridiculous situation. There's no getting out of this now. She was still struggling weakly. Seeing the situation was getting out of hand, Kim Chun-shu shouted an order. Goblin, stop! Let her go! The crowd below was stunned again. That man, did he just tell the Goblin to let the girl go? A guy in starter gear is confronting a monster that even the Evaton Guild couldn't handle? The Goblin, not understanding what was happening but obeying the command, stopped. With tears streaming down his face, Chun-shu looked at the stunned Ji-eun. Stop. It's all over. The people below completely misunderstood the situation. That Goblin is toast now, one of them shouted. Hey you, I don't know who you are, but good luck. Beat it. We're cheering for you. Now it was Kim Chun-shu's turn to be confused. Huh? Why are they cheering for me? Shouldn't they be yelling at me? Then he realized something. Wait a minute. Could it be they don't know I'm the one who summoned this Goblin? Well, it was an understandable mistake. An image flashed in his mind of himself puffing out his chest and declaring, Let me handle this Goblin. I don't want the Evaton Guild to get hurt. He had then rushed forward to shield Ji-eun. Let the girl go. Oh, Chun-shu, you're really screwed. He had actually said that. This was, in fact, Kim Chun-shu's own fantasy, which meant he was now a hero, risking his life to save a girl from a monster. His face darkened, a sinister smile spreading across his lips. You don't want to die horribly like your companions, do you? I'll spare your life if you promise to keep quiet about me and this Goblin. Ji-eun quickly agreed, terrified. Okay, I promise I won't say anything. He smiled in response, then quickly put a leash around the Goblin's neck. Right, Goblin. You dare to invade this village. Even though you're just a low-class monster, you've caused so much suffering. The Goblin's neck was now leashed. A skill icon appeared as Kim Chun-shu dragged it away. I won't forgive you. He and the Goblin merged into the crowd, which was buzzing with conversation. Monster binding skill. Luminous chains. I can't believe someone in the starter town can use such a high-level skill. The Goblin is completely subdued. It's being dragged away just like a pet. As he pulled it along, he thought, actually, this is just the walk Goblin skill. A window showed the Goblin's mood had improved thanks to the walk. Kim Chun-shu continued to play his part. Everyone, stand back. This is dangerous. I can barely restrain it. Ji-eun still sat on the roof, watching the scene unfold below. The crowd hadn't dispersed. Now I understand why the Evaton Guild was so helpless, she thought. His estimated level must be over 50. Two men were arguing about this very topic. 50? So it's not that the Evaton Guild is weak, it's that no one here is strong enough to stand against him. Kim Chun-shu materialized a sausage in his hand. I may not be able to win, But with my skills, I can drive it away. Skill, feed Goblin. He threw the sausage far beyond the village gate. The goblin immediately chased after its food. This is the end for you. As the goblin ran out of the gate, Kim Chun-shu shouted, "Now, close the village gate!" The crowd was a bit dazed. It's over already? He pretended to wipe his brow and turned around as if he had just won a real victory. Is everyone okay? The crowd erupted in cheers. He did it! He drove away the goblin. Kim Chun-shu breathed a sigh of relief. That should keep things quiet for now. I almost got branded as a psycho who wiped out an entire guild. Ji-un approached him from behind. The other members of my guild have died and have been sent to the resurrection altar in the Lascaux sanctuary. I'm the only one who knows the connection between you and the goblin. I will keep my promise. He looked at her. It's the girl from before. I think I can use her for something interesting. Kim Chun-shu turned his back to Ji-un. I heard that in Lascaux, players have infinite HP, so they can't be attacked by monsters or other players. That's why it's called a sanctuary. He turned back to face her, his expression unsettling. You'd better keep your word. Otherwise, I'll kill you, set up camp at the resurrection altar, and kill you over and over again by dealing damage that exceeds infinity. I promise you that. Ji-un's eyes welled up with tears. The scene changes. Kim Chun-shu is lying in a warm, comfortable bed. This wasn't what I intended, but getting to stay in a nice room like this in exchange for my good deed, it's worth it. I feel so proud. He remembered a past scene. Back then I had no power, but if I did, I would have saved her. Suddenly he shot up. Oops, I almost forgot. The goblin point from that damn Goblin King. A window appeared. Kim Chun-shu. Goblin Summoner. Goblin points. 1. I chose this class because I felt some kind of kinship with goblins, and now I get a point just for being called cunning and sneaky? He tapped on the skill shop. Everything was locked. All the high-level skills in the skill shop are locked. So for now, there's probably only one choice. Kim Chun-shu tapped on Rally. What does this do? The goblin suddenly appeared. You have used the skill. Goblin Rally. He screamed, Holy crap! One person and one monster were now bouncing on the large bed. What the hell? Is this a reverse summoning skill? You idiot! If someone finds out you're here, we're both screwed. What am I supposed to do now? A voice called from outside. Adventurer, sir? Are you okay? Kim Chun-shu panicked and replied to the innkeeper NPC, I'm fine. If you don't want to die, please go downstairs. The goblin raised its club, looking somewhat angry. He quickly calmed it down. I get it. Don't raise that thing. I'm sorry about what happened earlier. Under the moonlight streaming through the window, the master and his servant lay on the bed. Even when you do nothing, you're still ridiculed and attacked for no reason. You're just like me. He let the goblin rest its head on his arm. This world, it's full of bastards. Downstairs, the tavern was bustling. Kim Chun-shu had come down. A man spoke up. Welcome. So you're the bastard from yesterday who saved a member of the Evaton Guild. Ah, yeah, he replied. It's so crowded. Without the goblin by my side, I feel a little nervous. Woo Hyuk looked at him. Even though we were clearly your enemies, you still helped. Thank you. A chill ran down Kim Chun-shu's spine. Could you not thank me with that murderous look in your eyes? Min Sung sat behind Ji-un. No need to be on guard, Ji-un the Deadly. It's clear he has no intention of fighting. Of course not, she thought to herself, because the goblin isn't here. You've all been tricked by him. Kim Chun-shu replied, Like you said, the reason I helped you even though you almost killed me is because I need something. Min Sung seemed to have anticipated this answer. Whatever the reason, we owe you. The Evaton Guild never forgets a debt. We'll help you with anything we can. After receiving Min Sung's offer of repayment, Kim Chun-shu stated his request. No matter how much I grind in this starter area, I don't earn much. I'm over level 30 now. I want to move to the next area as soon as possible. You guys know how, right? Woo Hyuk, still grim-faced, said, You're talking about Furendel. And you know how to get there. A new voice interjected. It's me, Seong Ryun. I know the way there quite well. Chun-shu was wary of the man. This guy... He quickly apologized. I'm truly sorry. Seong Ryun cleared his throat. Considering you faced that goblin alone, I assume you're very strong. Probably even stronger than all of us. Pan clicked his tongue in annoyance. Of course not, Kim Chun-shu thought, glancing at Min-sung. But if that guy had really attacked me yesterday, Min-sung would have died in one hit, just like he said. At this point, Sung Rae-yeon explained a bit about the areas. The starter area, also known as LEP, consists of 5 regular dungeons, a lush meadow, a stone mine, a grassy field where slimes appear, another mine, and a dark forest. You can enter these dungeons, called open world dungeons, whenever you want. The 2 men stood facing each other. But if you want to leave LEP, you must clear the raid dungeon. Kim Chun-shu was intrigued. A raid dungeon? A boss? Woo Hyuk continued the explanation. A spatial gate appears, he said, narrating. Unlike open-world dungeons, raid dungeons have gates that open and close at set times. They are limited-time dungeons with a limited number of entries. Since it's the final dungeon of each area, only those who have leveled up enough in that region should attempt it. He stood up. LEP's raid dungeon only opens once a month. The reason we were all gathered here was to defeat it. Chun-shu could feel sweat beading on his forehead. So the fact that you guys were here means... Woo Hyuk's face blazed with anger. That's right. Yesterday was the day the raid dungeon opened, but that damn goblin ruined everything. Until the next raid opens, we're all stuck in LEP. A look of disbelief and anxiety crossed Chun-shu's face. I'm stuck here for a month? He remembered the money he had earned and the things he had done. Damn it, I made over 200 million from the drops of that level 80 monster. My goblin could easily wipe out even harder dungeons, and now I have to waste a whole month in this damn town where I can't earn a single one. Losing his cool, he grabbed Woo Hyuk by the collar. Don't mess with me. A month? There has to be another way. Are you telling me I have to waste my precious time? Woo Hyuk responded coolly, clearly not happy either. That's right. Everyone here is annoyed that this is dragging on. He pushed Kim Chun-shu's hand away. The debt is paid. We're leaving. One by one, they filed past him, leaving his solitary figure in the thinning tavern. Ji-un gave him one last look before quickly following the others. Outside, in the darkness, they walked in a line. The goblin had been hiding somewhere all along. A crimson spatial gate materialized. Raid dungeon boss has appeared. Seung Ryun was shocked. Impossible. The next raid shouldn't be for at least another 30 days. Woo Hyuk was already suspicious. A raid boss. Inside, Kim Chun-shu had also received the notification. It's open already? The scene shifts to a forest where the successful activation of the spatial gate made Pawn the Destroyer grin with delight. The dungeon, it really opened. All the warriors, including him, stared at the spatial vortex, ready to enter the battle. The one-day boss raid was about to begin. Behind them, Woo Hyuk stood with his arms crossed, watching it for a moment. How many people are inside? The old man, Sung Ryun, stood beside him and answered calmly. No one. The people who were ready to clear it yesterday couldn't wait and have already moved on to a new area. Hearing this, Woo Hyuk grew pensive. So it's just us this time? Chun-shu could no longer stay silent. He scoffed loudly. I knew it! His voice made everyone turn to look at him, including a man in a hooded cloak that hid his face. You tricked me. I should have realized it when you told me I had to wait a whole month. You betrayed me to go on ahead, Chun-shu shouted angrily at them. I was a fool to trust you again after everything I've been through. Ji-in turned to him in a panic, trying to clear up the misunderstanding. That's not it. You're misunderstanding. We didn't. Before she could finish, a deep, threatening voice cut her off. It was Woo Hyuk, hands on his hips, his eyes filled with killing intent. Well, are you coming or not? Chun-shu flinched at the man's menacing aura. Even though I'm a bit wary, of course I am. Do you think I'm just going to sit here and watch you guys go in and fill your pockets? Let me tell you, you have a really weird personality. Woo Hyuk didn't care what the other man thought of him. Having gotten the answer he needed, he became serious. All right then, let me give you a quick explanation before we go in. He glanced at the swirling spatial vortex leading to the dangerous dungeon. According to the information we have, there's only one path to the boss raid, also known as R. That means we'll face the boss as soon as we enter, so be on your guard. He quickly scanned the levels of the group members. Archer Ji-un and the old assassin Seung Ryun are both level 26. Of course, I don't think it will be that dangerous considering it's still below our level, but a little caution never hurt anyone. The more he heard, the more the excitement inside Pawn the Destroyer, level 28, burned. He laughed proudly. Even though our guild leader isn't here, the motto of the Evaton Guild is always victorious. He and everyone else shouted and jumped into the portal. A boss like this will only take us 10 seconds to kill. Woo Hyuk could only laugh at the group's enthusiasm before slowly stepping in himself. Let's go, Evaton. As Chun Shu was about to follow, he paused and whispered a reminder to his summoned creature, which was hiding behind a tree. Goblin, they'll have a fit if they know you're with me. So, wait here until I call you. He remembered the wretched and pathetic feeling of being so painfully betrayed. He thought about it, vowing to use it as a lesson to be wary. They could betray me again, just like last time. I won't let that happen again. In his hand, he held a glowing blue crystal from the system. High-grade healing stone. Revives a player with 100% health when their health reaches 0. I also have a high-grade healing stone to save myself. Wait, didn't I already use this? He shook his head repeatedly, dismissing the thought, and plunged headfirst into the dungeon. Damn it, whatever. Once inside the dungeon, Chunshu looked around to get his bearings. So this is a raid boss? Before him was a towering giant monster, codenamed Steel Giant, level 40. It was chasing the Evaton Guild members right toward him. Chunshu screamed in terror. What the hell? This is a hidden dungeon. The hidden dungeon is the home of the Steel Giant. Woo Hyuk, while running, turned to the old man. Seong Ryun the Cunning, what kind of crazy plan do you have this time? Unfortunately for him, the person he was asking was too busy running for his life and screaming, How the hell should I know? Ji-un, her face pale, yelled as she ran, Kim Chun-shu, don't just stand there, get to the teleportation gate. Although the situation was dire, he just smirked contemptuously. Are you kidding me? At that moment, his fear and confusion morphed into a crazed mania. He just stood there and shouted, You want to run from a hidden dungeon? Don't you know what kind of rewards a hidden dungeon has? The Steel Giant let out a deafening roar while he stood there, ranting like a madman. Everyone knows that. It's just that the boss is level 40. It won't just end with our characters dying if we get hit by that thing. But it's only a 10-level difference. It won't be so bad if we work together. We'll just vomit blood and pass out if we're defeated. You think getting good rewards is easy? You have no idea how good the rewards from a hidden dungeon are. The others were forced to ignore him, his pride and arrogance now eclipsing his fear. They ran to save their own lives, while Chunshu remained rooted to the spot, facing the giant boss. Fine, you can all run. I'll take all the rewards for myself. I'll take it all. He was now like a fool trying to act cool in the final moments of his life, shouting, Goblin, I choose you. Unfortunately, while its master was desperately calling its name, the goblin was somewhere in the forest, gazing up at the strangely bright and peaceful starry sky. Inside the hidden dungeon, Chunshu tried to call out in desperation, but the moment he finished speaking, he took a punch from the Steel Giant. I said, come out quickly, you damn goblin! Pawn came out to see the loud-mouthed young man lying on the ground in a spreading pool of blood. A system notification appeared. Kim Chunshu has died. Holy crap! That's the guy who fought the goblins yesterday? Woo Hyuk didn't care whether the young man lived or died. Who cares what happens to him? More importantly, he turned to where the portal should have been, but there was only a dungeon wall. The teleportation gate is closed. This development shocked everyone. What? Only high-level raid dungeons close their gates this early. This is supposed to be a hidden dungeon. Seong Ryun was sweating, his face grim as he assessed the situation. We underestimated this place. Just as a basic dungeon can scale from low to high levels, a high-level monster raid can also appear in a hidden dungeon. The Steel Giant stood there, roaring as if to display its power as the boss here. That's why we've encountered this mysterious high-level raid boss. We have no choice but to fight. In the real world, Chunshu, wearing his VR headset, suddenly screamed as he took the punch from the giant. I was killed in a single blow, even though my level is over 32. I know it's level 40, but... He checked his status screen. The system displayed his full information, from strength to his unused status points, 26. Reading this, he remembered he hadn't used them. Damn it, I forgot to use my status points. His character was dead, lying face down on the floor. And then, the culprit behind it. Anyway, I can't summon the goblin because the portal is closed. I was so close, the treasure was right in front of me. You useless damn goblin! I'm going to lose all the rewards. At that moment, Woo Hyuk, his eyes filled with determination, shouted, Evaton, begin the hunt! Since he was lying face down, Chun-Shu was unaware of the situation and was confused when he heard the order from the group. What? At that moment, the archer's skill was activated, doubling the speed of all her teammates. Old Seong-ryun stood there, analyzing. Woo Hyuk, the assassin of darkness, and Min-sung, the master of speed, you two attack it first and find its weak spot. With Ji-yoon, the Deathbringer, increasing your movement speed, the enemy won't have time to react. Chun-Shu could only hear his voice, so he was quite confused. Who is he talking to? Min-sung used his nimble speed to leap from the monster's foot up to its head. It roared, about to counterattack, but before it could do anything, it was hit by a flurry of lightning-fast attacks from Woo Hyuk's full-on assault. The old man continued his analysis from the sidelines. All monsters have a weak spot. 16 full-on slashes from both of them means there will be 32 slashes wounding its entire body. We can find its weak spot by seeing which wound is the deepest. After their combined attack, the two of them hid at a distance from the monster. Woo Hyuk kept watch. Did you find its weak spot yet? Min-sung looked at the enemy and replied, No, none of the wounds did any real damage to it. I know this attack was just to find the enemy's weak spot, but this is a bit difficult. Woo Hyuk crossed his arms and smiled faintly. I agree with you. This boss is quite strong. There are two possibilities. Either its defense is high, or... He leaped up and ran along the monster's arm, using the Peerless Sword skill to slash wildly at the monster, making it bleed. That's not it, and small attacks won't work on it because this steel giant has a high HP pool. HP, $28,200, 30,000. Skill, Hatred of the Weak. Passive skill, Hatred of the Weak. Attacks with damage. Less than 5% of maximum health are nullified. Pawn the Destroyer stood there and called out, Woo Hyuk of the Darkness, you're the only one who can deal significant damage to a level 40 enemy like this. Old Seong-ryun immediately objected. No, he's not the one with the strongest ultimate attack. There's someone who can do it better, depending on the conditions. That person was none other than Ji-yoon, who was drawing her bow with the ultimate archer skill, Death Arrow. She uses HP to draw the bowstring, because the more HP she uses, the more damage she deals. Everyone would make me the guildmaster if they found out I have this skill. Seeing her use such a dangerous but high damage skill, Pawn yelled to stop her. Ji-yoon the Deadly. I don't know what that is, but if you need time to prepare, I can give you plenty. He used his battle cry to shake the ground, making himself the target for the monster's attack. From the sidelines, the prone Chun-Shu watched it all, his eyes wide with shock. That idiot! He's provoking the monster when he could have run and survived. The monster slammed a powerful blow down on that spot, but the man managed to dodge it. He was thrilled that it had fallen for his trap. This is nothing. I thought you'd be stronger. Old Seong-ryun picked up his weapon and reminded him, Don't let your guard down, Pawn the Destroyer. To ensure the plan succeeded, he used the Share Pain skill on Pawn, which shared the damage with another target. Since the person with more HP takes more damage, Chun-Shu, now in spirit form, witnessed the whole thing and was horrified by this risky plan. They're low-level players. They don't even have hidden classes. Woo Hyuk, level 30, along with Min-sung and the others, prepared for their next move. While the two warriors distract the monster, we, the assassin team, will break through its defenses with our passive skills. Assassin's passive skill, Exploit Weakness, 1% chance on attack to reduce enemy defense by 2%. Stacks up to 50%. Why are these bastards so strong? Chun-Shu thought, watching in admiration as the guild members worked together to attack the giant boss. So this is what a guild is like? Damn it, they're going to kill this boss. His hand tightened around his healing stone. I can't get any experience or rewards if I'm dead. As the monster closed in on Pawn the Destroyer, making him panic, another taunting voice rang out. Hey, bastard! Why are you looking that way? The monster has noticed another player. I'm the one you're fighting. The healing stone began to crack, reviving the deceased Chun-Shu. He sneered, challenging it. I can't just watch these pathetic guys fight anymore. I'll help them, since I'm the highest level here. High-grade healing stone. revives a player with 100% HP when their HP reaches 0. The monster's target has changed. The steel giant has selected Kim Chun-shu as its target. He smirked. The main character usually arrives late. The steel giant used a large-scale skill, Purify the Land, killing several other players who had joined the fight. Minsu the Blood-Eyed has died. Suji the Warrior has died. Hyunsu the Bloodthirsty has died. And even Minsung, the Master of Speed, has died. The remaining survivors blamed him when they realized the extent of the casualties. Why didn't you revive sooner, you bastard? Player after player was defeated by the steel giant, their HP dwindling until they were eliminated. The bodies of players were scattered everywhere. A man who had witnessed the whole scene screamed, his face ferocious. Why did you hurt my comrades? Seung Ryun, holding his hammer nearby, his face pale with panic, shouted in a worried tone, No, don't lose your focus now. Warrior's skill, finishing blow. A surge of power enveloped Pawn. His hands, now glowing red, gripped his sword, preparing to attack the monster from behind. Suddenly, the monster spun around, swatting Pawn's sword away and dealing him 3890 damage. Pawn was knocked down in a single blow. Instantly, Seung Ryun lost 2456 HP. He was stunned as the skill system displayed. Share pain. Shares pain with another target. The one with higher HP takes more damage. Seung Ryun coughed up blood, his voice trembling. You fool. Pawn the Destroyer has died. Seung Ryun the Wise has died. Chun-shu is terrified. What have I done? His face went pale. This isn't my fault. The only mistake I made was reviving myself. Suddenly Woo-hyuk dropped down, a sharp knife in his hand, his gaze firm and calculating as he looked at the monster. Monsters always focus on healers, and ranged damage dealers more than tanks. Woo-hyuk remembered Pawn's power surge. But because of his taunting skill, the monster targeted our tank, Pawn the Destroyer. Woo-hyuk was on high alert. Many monsters, the moment a player we weren't paying attention to revives, will restore their aggro towards us. The assassins didn't even have a chance to react when they were all killed. Even our tank couldn't. Ji-eun, emanating a green aura, stood not far away, her bow aimed at the monster, her face filled with fear. She stammered, Well, what should I do, Woo-hyuk the Dark? Should I shoot now? Archer's skill. Ultimate Death Arrow. Uses HP to draw the bowstring. The more HP used, the greater the damage. Ji-eun the Deadly. Remaining HP, 46%. She had already raised her bow. Seeing Ji-eun's power, Woo-hyuk quickly shouted, Calm down, Ji-eun the Deadly. If you shoot now, our whole plan will be ruined. He thought to himself, we haven't even fully stacked the assassin's passive debuff yet. The monster roared. Passive assassin skill. Exploit weakness. Defense reduced by 2% on attack. 1% chance. Stacks up to 5 times. Steel Giant, 3 stacks. It's not enough to kill it in one shot, one of them thought. Woo-hyuk rushed towards the monster. I'll draw its aggro. Try not to cancel your skill. Someone else spoke up. If this isn't a one-shot kill, we can't win. Ji-eun took out an arrow, power surging into it. She gritted her teeth, raised her bow, and took aim. Chun-shu spoke up. Hey, can I help with anything? Ji-eun's voice was sharp. What can you do without your goblin? She frowned, glancing at him. Don't try to do anything. Right now, you're nothing but a nuisance to us. Ji-eun's words pierced Chun-shu's mind. He stepped back, his face stunned. Why is she looking at me like that? Because I don't have my goblin? He looked at the unfolding scene and tried to reassure himself. It's clearly your fault. Because of you people, I couldn't bring my goblin. You're the ones who are wrong. Chun-shu's face darkened, and he sneered, his killing intent palpable. Are you guys always this weak? You dare to treat me like this, even though there's no other way out without relying on me? Fine, I'll let you all struggle until you're all dead. The monster roared again. The steel giant has selected Ji-eun the Deadly as its target. Woo-hyuk smirked to himself. Just as I thought. It prioritizes the archer, our ranged damage dealer. He rushed forward. Where are you looking? I'm your opponent, Woo-hyuk thought as he used his dual blades skill, attacking the monster's body and dealing 1920 damage. This was another risky move. He had provoked the monster. It tried to attack Woohyuk, but he quickly dodged. Not done yet! Woohyuk rushed at the monster again. This is how you draw its attention. He used dual blades, again, attacking its back and dealing 1908 damage. Woohyuk landed safely on the ground. As he landed, he gathered his momentum and turned back to the monster. Woohyuk rushed in again, his expression serious, as if he had already calculated everything. He used dual blades a third time, this time on the monster's chest. Now the monster lost 1912 HP. He shouted, "Another way to get its attention is to deal as much damage as possible." Woohyuk landed, dust billowing around him. So it only took 3 of my full-on attacks for you to see me as a threat, huh? The monster, which had been facing Woohyuk, rushed at him. The Steel Giant has selected Woohyuk the Dark as its target. Steel Giant, level 40. HP 20,460, 30,300. The monster looked at Woohyuk with blood-red eyes, its mouth open to reveal sharp teeth. He thought to himself, even though Share Pain only stacked 3 times, this attack has made up for it. Now I just need to buy her enough time to charge up. Woohyuk rushed forward again, thick dust kicking up with his every move. What's wrong? Are you angry? Assassin skill. Swift dodge. Can dodge all attacks for the next 3 seconds. Woohyuk roared with confidence. Your next 3 seconds are mine. The moment he finished speaking, a red notification appeared in front of him. You do not have enough HP. He was stunned. What? Before Woohyuk could react, the monster swung its arm and sent him flying. Chunshu was shocked by the sight. Woohyuk's eyes were wide as his body was flung to Chunshu's feet. Woohyuk the Dark has died. Before he died, he managed to utter one word. Oh. Chunshu snapped. You slowpoke. You were so confident, and now what is this? I should have just stayed down. I shouldn't have revived, should I? Jian retorted. What? She screamed. Are you serious right now? Do you think I'm some kind of idiot for just standing here charging this bow? The fact that you revived yourself ruined the whole plan. The two of them got in each other's faces, veins popping as they argued. Chunshu screamed right in Jiyun's face. You idiots! Did you really think you could kill that thing if I hadn't revived? She wouldn't back down. No, you bastard! Just give me 10 more seconds and I would have killed it. He shot back. Liar! I'd rather let you all die than watch you all get the rewards without me. Their argument grew so loud that it caught the monster's attention. It roared. The two of them stopped arguing, their faces pale with fear as they looked at the approaching monster. They screamed in unison. The monster took a step towards them, the ground shattering beneath its feet with each step. The Steel Giant had selected Jian the Deadly as its target. The two of them stood frozen. She raised her bow, her voice serious. Damn it, now is not the time to be arguing. I haven't fully charged yet, but now I only have 1 chance to shoot. Jian got into position and glanced at Chunshu, who was muttering something incomprehensible. What the hell are you doing? He turned back with a sly grin. Wait, I have a question. You can't move while you're charging, right? Her eyes widened, her voice panicked. What? What are you planning to do? Jian's eyes welled with tears as Chunshu approached, reaching out his hand. Don't come near me. He slung her over his shoulder and ran like the wind. She screamed in terror. Oh my God. Chunshu replied, You said you just needed 10 more seconds, right? The monster punched straight at where they had been standing, but thanks to his lightning-fast speed, he had already dodged. Jian was amazed. Impossible! How do you have speed almost on par with Woohyuk the Dark? Chunshu just laughed, not answering, but thought to himself, It's because I put all my status points into agility, of course. Kim Chunshu, Goblin Summoner. Level, Chapter 31. Strength, 3. Stamina, 2. Agility, 26. Intelligence, 1. Luck, 0. He thought again. Even an assassin wouldn't dare to put all their points into agility. I may not be an assassin, but my speed is on par with 1. His thoughts continued. Anyway, that argument just now got me another goblin point. Goblin points, 1. He just gave me this one thing, and I've become this extraordinary. Damn it. Goblin King, are you trying to tell me I was the one who was wrong? Ji-Eun spoke up from his shoulder as he dodged the monster's attacks. I'm ready. His voice was urgent. Then shoot, Ji-eun said irritably. Don't rush me. Do you think it's easy to aim while moving at high speed? She was tense, focusing on aiming at the monster. If this arrow misses, we're both dead for sure. Chun-Shu cut her off. Don't tell me that, he laughed, rushing towards the monster. Ji-eun looked like she was about to cry as Chun-Shu moved too fast. You'd better pay me back double for this, for the HP I just lost and a stronger healing stone. He ran around the monster, dazing it. The monster kept swinging wildly but couldn't hit them. Suddenly, Chun-Shu leaped up from behind the monster, giving Ji-eun an easier shot. Archer's skill, ultimate death arrow. Chun-Shu laughed as a powerful aura emanated from her, ready to shoot the monster. Ji-eun the deadly, remaining HP 1%. He shouted, Finish it! The monster, enraged, roared and raised its hands high. The steel giant has begun to use the AE skill, World Ender. It slammed its hands down on the ground, sending dust and debris flying. Chun-Shu recoiled in horror as large rocks fell around him. Oh, so it was hiding this skill until the very end? The monster's attack had caused the ground to sink, creating a deep pit. More rocks flew everywhere. It was an attack that covered the entire area. Aside from Ji-eun, who only has 1% HP, since I just revived myself, I only have 100 HP. That means if I get hit by this, I'm done for. Ji-eun tried to aim through the falling rocks. There are too many obstacles. Her voice was filled with anxiety. At this rate, I can't hit it. Wait, my brain is showing me something. A way out of this situation? He answered calmly. No, a memory of when I used to play with my friends. Ji-eun's voice was urgent. That's a flashback. Oh, crap. Suddenly a crack appeared next to them. A green hand was trying to pry the crack open. A goblin's head popped out. Above its head was HP 9099. She exclaimed in surprise, A goblin! He yelled, Hey, you damn dog! What took you so long? I feel like the last time I used Rally was a whole week ago. Ji-eun looked at the goblin, a little worried. What did I just witness? Did that thing just move an attack into a dungeon space to enter? How is that even possible? A gust of wind lifted the rocks. Secret movement. The monster attacked again, but the goblin blocked it. HP. The goblin shield. The monster roared and rushed towards the two of them. Chun-Shu sneered, Your last words are a bit noisy, hidden boss. Ji-eun is ready to shoot, and the goblin is helping her too. Now it's time to end this. Ji-eun fired, hitting the monster squarely. Damage, 22,520. The fully charged ultimate death arrow. A large hole was blown through the monster's chest. It fell to the ground, shaking the dungeon slightly. You have cleared the hidden dungeon, the lair of the steel giant. Ji-eun stared in disbelief. We won. We really cleared the hidden dungeon. You have leveled up. Ji-eun the deadly archer, level 27. Level 31. Chun-Shu jumped to the ground. You have leveled up. Kim Chun-Shu, goblin summoner, level 31. Level 34. He roared, The rewards! Give me the rewards now! A notification popped up. All deceased characters have been revived after you completed the raid. Woo-hyuk had just appeared. Is everyone safe? Pawn was also becoming clear. My mouth still tastes like blood. What a relief. It's finally over. If it had leveled up again, we would have been in real danger. Seong-ryun's eyes darted back and forth. This was Seong-ryun the Cunning, a level 26 warrior. He glanced over and startled. Wait a minute. Seong-ryun is dead. Just hit him hard, Chun-Shu suggested. He'll be fine. Woo-hyuk closed his eyes. Now, are you going to explain what happened or not? Over by Chun-Shu, he was shouting, Don't come any closer. This left the others wondering, what the hell is wrong with him? Ji-eun frowned, confused by it all. Just as Chun-Shu landed, the system announced, You have leveled up. Kim Chun-Shu, Goblin Summoner, level 31, level 34. He yelled excitedly, The rewards! Give me the rewards now! A new message appeared. You do not meet the requirements to unlock the hidden class. She was incredulous. I still don't meet the requirements to unlock the hidden class? Because Ji-eun had already cleared the dungeon, but still wasn't eligible. It was then that Chun-Shu understood. Even if we meet the conditions to evolve our class, by receiving the Goblin King's favor, we still can't evolve if we don't meet certain conditions within the hidden dungeon. So that's how it is. No matter how the goblin fights, as long as we meet those conditions, we can evolve our class without even fighting the boss. Besides, defeating the boss after evolving to a hidden class seems more in line with the natural order. He was genuinely curious about what that class was, but thinking about it now was pointless. Chunshu's mouth hung open. The goblin was standing behind him. Now I have to get those dropped rewards. Right now. She quickly intervened. Wait. Maybe the two of us dealt the final blow, but everyone fought together. We should share the rewards after consulting with everyone. But he ignored her, roaring as he clutched the items. Ji-in calmly recounted, and he's been like that ever since. Woo Hyuk propped himself up. Who is he? That goblin. Genno, meanwhile, he was still screaming, My precious! She corrected him. It's valuable. Woo Hyuk spoke up. Well, consider the dungeon boss dead. You've helped us twice now, and we've achieved our goal. We're not greedy enough to take the unexpected rewards. Chunshu shot a wary glance at him. Are you serious? Suddenly, Sungryun walked over and stomped on the materials, shattering them. He raised his club behind his head. Warning, Seong Ryun the Cunning has activated Cunning. His voice was low. I told you before not to be greedy for this reward. Woo Hyuk nodded in agreement. He's right about you. Chunshu roared in fury. You bastard! I knew you'd do this to me. You've betrayed me not once, but twice. Woo Hyuk reminded him. Dealing with you right now wouldn't be a problem for us. If we wanted to take it by force, we would have done it already. I'm fine with you taking all the normal rewards. Those items were X3 crushed steel, X1 high purity steel, and a unique item, Giant's iron bow. It was then that he raised an issue. But that bow, isn't it a unique item? Chunshu hugged it tightly to his chest, shouting, So what? Woo Hyuk explained, You're not even an archer. What are you planning to do with that bow? Use it to start a fire? Chunshu gritted his teeth, thinking resentfully, Damn it, I knew it. Because the system had decreed that the unique item, the giant's iron bow, was untradeable and only for archers. That's what frustrated him. He couldn't sell the unique item, nor could he use it without the right class. Even so, Chunshu remained stubborn. I can't use it now, but I can use it when I change my class later. Woo Hyuk coldly advised, Don't be so greedy. Give it to Ji-un the Deathbringer. At this he gave a cold laugh. Fine, I'll give you this weapon, but I want to make a trade. Woo Hyuk was astonished. What? Chunshu stood up. Chunshu stood. This is an untradeable item, which makes it priceless. He gripped the bow, smiling triumphantly. Who's at a loss if I take this item? You'll have to buy it from me. Seongryun's face twisted in disgust. Don't tell me. The reason he held out until we were revived was just to sell that item? Chunshu and the goblin grinned ear to ear, their eyes wide. Woo Hyuk was at a disadvantage, thinking how utterly depraved. He reminds me of that goblin from before. He remembered it hiding on a rock, because it and him were now a team. After a moment, Ji-Yun took the bow and slung it over her shoulder to try it out. She was Ji-Yun the Deathbringer, a level 31 archer, now in possession of the unique item, the giant's iron bow, untradeable and only for archers. With the transaction complete, Chunshu offered a polite, Thank you for your purchase, Evaton. Woo Hyuk didn't hold back. I've been thinking about this for a while, but you really have a knack for being hated. Woo Hyuk looked down at him. Where will you go after you leave here? Chunshu answered bluntly, Isn't it obvious? He looked up defiantly. Of course, to a place without your faces. Woo Hyuk didn't like this attitude. You're getting too cocky. Chunshu called after him. But it sounds nice, doesn't it? Woo Hyuk left coolly. Shall we go? Ji-un lingered, looking back. They were the Evaton Guild. Currently, the goblin was desperately trying to put out the fire on its body. He scolded it gently. This goblin, and Kim Chunshu, they all cleared the hidden boss raid. The only regret was losing the unique bow, but he couldn't use it anyway. More importantly, in exchange, he got something more useful. Usable item, thief's gloves. You can steal anything once, but you cannot steal from a character of a higher level than you. Two people using this item cannot steal from each other. Plus, jackpot. Material item, X1, high purity steel. Just a moment ago, I was just a mining player. Those fools were so focused on the unique weapon that they didn't realize the true value of this. He eagerly held the items. Who cares about the unique weapon? I just need these. Material items. X3, crushed steel. X1, high purity steel. You guys betrayed me first, right? The scene shifts to a bustling area. Fiorendel's Phoenix Plaza. Chunshu let out a gasp of awe. So many high-level players. I've never seen anyone wearing all this before. I wonder how much money I'd get if I ground them all into powder and sold them. He took a deep, excited breath. I can smell the money. Chunshu was worried, but first things first. Although paying off my debt is a good idea, I need to change my gear first. He recalled, even though it was a hidden boss, the fact that I died in one hit when fighting a monster only 9 levels higher than me is pretty shocking. This meant the current gear Chunshu was wearing was attracting flies. But to be fair, I've been wearing this armor since level 3. A tattered armor. Level requirement 3. Zinc defense, D-chart 1. Wait, why is the defense stat negative? At that moment, the goblin suddenly tugged on his pant leg. Chunshu yelled, "What is it?" He warned it, "I swear, if you cause trouble in the village..." A large beast with white fur roared, cutting him off. He panicked. A monster? Chunshu started to freak out. Oh crap, why is a level monster appearing here? Protect me, Ifrit. It was its master. She made a soft tisk sound. My, I've never seen anyone with a goblin as a summon before. She then wondered, could it be a monster you summoned? This was Irene, a level 76 summoner. His jaw dropped in astonishment. Someone is riding it? So that means this monster is also a summon? She spoke in a friendly tone. No need to be so on guard. Ifrit is very well behaved in the village. Chunshu hesitated. But it's drooling so much. He stared cautiously. This person is very strong. I don't need to fight her to know. Chunshu could tell that most guilds, including the Evaton Guild, wouldn't even stand a chance against her. Irene sat comfortably on its back. You adorable child. May I have the honor of knowing your name? He misunderstood, thinking she was asking him. Kim Chunshu. She corrected him. No, I was talking to the child next to you. I heard you call it Goblin earlier. Irene's bangs covered a quarter of her face. You haven't given it a name yet, have you? Chunshu tried to cover his embarrassment by deflecting. I mean, who cares? Anyway, who names their summons? Besides, you call this thing cute? Irene analyzed. A one-sided relationship is definitely an unstable one, you know? Look at your summon. She explained the goblin's behavior. It's acting aggressive because its master hasn't even given it a name yet. After giving the order, protect me, Irene reminded him before leaving. I hope the next time we meet, you won't be such a boring person, Kim Chunshu. Let's go, Ifrit. He quickly saw her off. Right. Thanks a lot for the advice. Because I don't need it. Me and this thing have no problems. Let's go, Goblin. They went to the player's house. HFY. Seeing him, the owner startled. Wait a minute. Your gear. He crossed his arms, criticizing. It's trash, isn't it? You might as well just wear actual trash. This was the sharp-tongued NPC, Humphrey. Chunshu hastily explained. That's why I came here to buy better stuff. He rummaged around for a while. This one's probably too expensive for trash, like you. This one should be okay. Finally, a gear item appeared. Hardened steel breastplate. Price, 350 gold. He muttered to himself. 350 gold. That's almost $40 in real money. Because of this, Chunshu had to consider for a moment. Even if I have a max level summon, it'll all be over if the summoner dies. So I need a minimum level of defense. After some deliberation, he tapped the buy button. The fierce Humphrey brought it out and slammed it on the table. At least you have some taste in gear. Use it well, because I use the best steel to make it for you idiots. Chunshu cursed under his breath. Damn, he really is just like his name. When he put it on, he was very surprised. This armor is beautiful, but Chunshu had a problem. Damn it, I can't move at all, the man scolded him again, because people like you are better off not going anywhere. Hardened steel breastplate strength requirement 24. Kim Chunshu's strength, This armor is too heavy for you. You will be unable to move. He blamed himself. Damn it, I invested all my points in agility because I had to fight the steel giant. I have to sell it back. The man's attitude changed immediately. You want me to buy a piece of trash armor like that? Sell it? I'll buy this hardened steel breastplate for 30 gold coins. Chunshu jumped up in protest. What the hell? You just sold this to me for 350 gold coins. Is this NPC scamming me? Suddenly, an exclamation mark lit up above Humphrey's head. Chunshu saw it too. Excuse me, what's with the exclamation mark above your head? He answered cryptically, Not here. And then Humphrey suddenly turned around and started rummaging through his things. I can't find it. Chunshu felt this was strange. What the hell is he doing? He picked up a hammer and chisel, agitated. My hammer is gone. Without it, I can't forge anything. Chunshu glanced at the 3 hammers on the table. But you have more than one hammer. Humphrey continued searching. No, I need my hammer. He picked up another hammer and demanded, That hammer is definitely in the underground waterway dungeon, at the village entrance. Go find it for me. Quest: Humphrey's Trouble. Find Humphrey's smithing hammer. Reward: you will gain the right to process materials for forging armor. It was then that Chunshu understood. The exclamation mark above his head was a quest notification. I have the right to process materials for forging armor? He suddenly thought back to his previous rewards. Wait, so that's why the material items I got from defeating the hidden boss were so expensive? That's the reason those materials are so valuable. Material items: X3 crushed steel, X1 high purity steel. If I can process them and turn them into gear now, Chunshu became interested. You said the underground waterway, right? The notification board recorded, Humphrey's Trouble. You have accepted the quest. As he walked toward the dungeon entrance, he felt relieved. I don't have to worry about the others. Party members just get in the way. This meant Chunshu was very excited. I'll clear a dungeon this easy in less than 30 minutes. Suddenly, he heard the man shout, What are you still standing there for, you idiot? Chunshu startled and slowly turned his head. It was only then that the quest conditions appeared. The man ordered belligerently, Go get my hammer right now. A description box appeared. NPC Humphrey the Sharp-Tongued. Warrior. Level 13. Quest will fail if Humphrey dies. He cried out to the heavens in misery. Why the hell are you following me?